What's the most ridiculous squandering of money you've personally seen? Guy I worked with won 100,000 on a scratch card, quit his job, went on a bender to Thailand, came back to work only 2 weeks later asking for his job back as he was broke. All on sex workers, drugs and the worst hand tattoos you've ever seen. There is no bigger, sadder waste than watching people with glazed eyes sitting and pushing a button over and over at the slot machines. Rows and rows of them, for hours. My father, who got about 90K in a few months by selling his and his mother's house inherited. The way he spent the money was outrageous. Think it's almost gone in just over a year. Going gambling, buying random shit, ordering food every day, etc. etc. It's insane. My ex's family were near succeeding rich. The matriarch and the family used to send the nanny a few times a year to Paris in their G550 to pick up the latest Birkin and other kinds of high-end handbags, so she could show it off a few days before they became available in the US. A pilot, co-pilot and nanny for a 16HR round trip to pick up a purse. By my estimation, around 160K each trip, not including Birkin. I used to work in a museum that rented out part of its building for special events like receptions or dinner parties. For one particular wedding reception, the bride, or perhaps her mother, I don't recall now, strongly disliked the color of the walls in the large gallery where they wanted to have the reception. We refused her request to paint them a different color. The building is on a historic building register, which precludes making most kinds of alterations without a metric ton of paperwork, even when she offered to pay to have the walls painted for the reception, and then repainted afterward. Her solution, instead, was to have a florist create walls of flowers to hang on portable frames in front of the walls. We never heard the exact cost of that, but the florist commented during the installation that it was the largest single order he had ever filled, and it was about as much as his shop would sell in a year. For whatever it's worth, it really was beautiful. I used to work casino security, and if someone at a slots machine gets a payout more than 1,000, an attendant and guard show up to do the paperwork and give the patron their prize money. This one night I remember a guy and his wife were at the high roller part of the slots area. Guy was doing 100 spins at 25 machine, so anytime he won 10x he had to have a payout detail. Only the husband was playing. The wife just sat there after over half a dozen payouts, and it being past midnight, I hear the wife ask if they're gonna get a hotel room or drive home. It's the only casino in a rural area, and the man, who had just been handed a slip for several $1,000s, looks to his wife and says, "Well, have to drive home. I'm not gonna have any money. Gambling is a stupid addiction, and it's the only one the state is not only not interested in fighting, but has a massive financial interest in perpetuating." I have to work at a high-profile sporting event each year, and I see the hospitality side of things. People will spend 10K on lunch and 5K on a round of drinks, gamble a peasant's annual salary, then try and start a fight with the ice cream van man in the car park because a 99 flake is 4. The squandering of money in this case was actually me. Because the individual in question is a semi-famous high-net-worth individual, and if I had the foresight to film his outburst, I think I could have sold to a tabloid for a few quid. I was playing poker at the Golden Nugget downtown Vegas. Walked by the BJ pits. Some Indian dude signed for a 100K marker. Got a whole rack of 1K chips. Watched him burn through not 1, 2, but 3 racks in 15 minutes. 300K in 15 minutes. I was amazed, lol. I know a guy who signed up for one of those alpha male courses where they teach you how to pick up a ton of women to sleep with them. I watched some of the videos and it was legit just some guy standing in front of the camera telling you to work out, practice stoicism, and to go to a place like the mall and walk up and hit on at least 30 women a day. He was paying $30 a month for this. Wedding parties. Middle to upper middle class people in and around New York City routinely spend over 100,000, 6 figures for just one day. Planning my own wedding now, and am astonished that people make the decision to spend that much on a day the couple is usually too busy to enjoy. A pallet full of USD was lost in Iraq. I was at an US Air Force base awaiting a flight and saw one unloaded before it was put into an armored truck. To be fair, I can't say for absolutely sure that it is the same one that was lost and in what denomination of bills were used, but the value is between 100 million and 1 billion. I don't anything will ever top my friend donating money to a politician. I'm a DoorDash driver, so I see squandering of money on a daily basis. This reminds me of that dude donating 20 cents to Drake when he was live on Twitch. If my MIL sees a cookbook somewhere, she will buy it. She literally has 2,000 cookbooks in her house. At 15-20 each, probably 30-40K. BTW, she is a horrible cook and can't make any recipe that requires more than about 5 ingredients or 3 steps. Buying Twitter,